Welcome to the first Grummlocke on the channel. Rules are pretty simple. It's like a hardcore Nuzlocke. Simple. If you don't know what those rules are, I'll put them in the description. However, quickly, it is no items in battle, one Pokemon per route. No, I'm gonna do no duplication unless it's a shiny. But this shouldn't be a problem because this is a mono lock. Also, if the Pokemon faints, they die. They're done. They're not used. However you want to phrase it so that it's nice and easy for you to digest. But what makes it a Grummlocke is two things. One, I turned on impossible trades. So like, trading evolutions like Kadabra to Alakazam, a champ, getting him a champ from a Machoke, and the like are possible. But if they're not available in the decks of the game, the regular decks, not the national decks, then I will not be using them. For example, today we're doing a Gen 3 FireRed flying type only Grummlocke. So if they're not in the Kanto decks, like Crobat, I don't get to use a Crobat. The other thing is, we go through and we defeat every legendary Pokemon in the game that is not roaming. So none of the legendary dogs. We're not going looking for them. I did not spend the time to look for them. So that is what a Grummlocke is. So we're going to start that off. So I hope you guys enjoy this. It's the first one on the channel. And it is a simple, fun time. We start, like every Nuzlocke, naming ourselves. We name ourselves Grum. That's who I am. My enemy of the air is land. So our run's rival's name will be Land. After frolicking through the tall grass behind Oak's house, Oaks takes me to his lab and tells his grandson that he does not believe in nepotism, and that I get to go first. So I choose the jolly Charmander who has dreams of flying, but I had dreams of being a 7-foot center in the NBA and a pro wrestler at the same time. But unlike my parents' gene pool, I will not fail my new fire lizard child. I name him Eddie because he has that heat within him. He beats up Land's attempts to get the C on the side, and I do a bit of Postman Simulator for the old man, and I begin my journey. I catch a jolly Pidgey, who almost kills Eddie, and I name him Styles. After the fight with Styles, I realize it's probably better for Eddie to wait to achieve his dreams, and I put him in a digital box for safekeeping until the time is right. Styles and me catch ourselves a naughty sparrow we name Kidman, and a serious Caterpie that almost seriously kills Styles. We end up naming our future Butterfree Lita, and after that I make sure I get my team ready for my first gym battle, leveling everyone up to 14, getting them close to 15, which results in Lita evolving twice. Brock is going to be a tough one for us right now because we don't really have any super effective moves and we're weak to their stab rock, including Lita's 4 times weakness. But the plan right now is to use Sand Attack once or twice on the Geodude, as a Rock Tomb really isn't the most effective move. Switch to Butterfree, use our only special move we got, Confusion, to leave Geodude Geo dead. Then when Onix comes out, switch to Spearow for a sacrifice so we can bring in Pidgey clean without getting hit, losing speed. Repeat throwing sand in the Rock Snake's face, switch to Butterfree. Hit a Poison Powder to help us deal some damage in case Butterfree doesn't make it through. Confusion, and hopefully we only end up with a single death. For the actual battle, we started off, and I'm able to hit not 1, not 2, but 3 sand attacks because Geodude chooses to defend Curl twice. On the last one, we take a tackle and switch out on the next turn into another defense Curl, surprisingly. Lita uses Confusion twice, once hitting a critical hit to take out the Geodude without taking any damage. We hit level 15 on both Styles and Lita, which is important because Lita learns Sleep Powder, which we immediately use on the Onix to put him to sleep. Then I opt for getting free damage instead of switching out to lower its accuracy. Onyx sleeps through 3 confusions, and we get our first badge. It's off to Mount Moon, and 2 more Pokemon. First, we buy a docile Magikarp from this totally legit businessman. We name her Io, before catching a hasty Zubat in Mount Moon and naming her Luray. We make it through Mount Moon with ease thanks to Lita's confusion, taking out almost everything on our way to Cerulean. We prep for the gym, which includes a battle against Land. We handle it with ease, thanks to the Sleep Powder Confusion combo taking out Land's Pidgeotto, sleeping his Rattata before switching to Kidman, who Fury attacks the Rat to death and defeats his Squirtle after a risky move to stay in after multiple tail whips. And Luray cleans up on the weak Abra. During our grind for Misty, we evolve Styles into a Pidgeotto, Io into a Gyarados, and Kidman into a Pharaoh. Also, we catch another Sparrow, but this one is to trade for a Farfetch'd in Vermilion City named Chiding. Or Chiding? Like a sword, I guess? I don't know. Makes sense since Chiding is here to just make sure we can cut down trees. Now for Misty, an easier opponent thanks to having Gyarados with Secret Powder. We lead Luray so we can get Luray leveled up and evolved after the fight. And really, here's the rest of the team so you know how far we are. Battle, though, goes exactly to plan. We lead Luray and immediately switch to Gyarados, who eats a Water Pulse like it's nothing. Next turn, we one-hit the Staryu with Secret Power. Starmie's obviously a little bit tougher than Staryu, but after thinking about going for a bite over Secret Power, I opt to stay with a Secret Power, and I'm rewarded with a critical hit for the win. Afterwards, Luray evolves to a Golbat. We clean through the SS hand to help our grind to surge, witnessing another easy win over Land, with Gyarados taking out the Pidgeotto, Kidman taking out the Raticate and Kadabra, and Lita's Sleep Power boosted by Compound Eyes, taking out the Wartortle. After proving the worth of the air, the Sea Captain gives us cut, we grab some berries in the kitchen, which is going to be important, and we leave. Surge should be our toughest fight in this run. Weaknesses for our entire team, no super effective moves at all, and Shockwave being a can't miss move. So we got to get tricky and think with our brain. We lead with Butterfree as this is probably the last fight that we really need Butterfree, and it's to put this Voltorb to sleep for a clean switch. We switch to Io, who has a Cherry Berry equipped in case of a paralysis, and Voltorb stays asleep. I'm surprised to learn that I'm faster than Voltorb, and I 3-shot the Mimic Pokeball due to a Super Potion from Surge. Io learns Dragon Rage, which we replace Bite with, since Io's special attack is not great, and it's not a stat move. Pikachu comes in, and we easily outspeed it, and one hit, and stave off a static paralysis. Now here's the hard part. Raichu comes in and uses Double Team on turn 1, and we miss Secret Power. We're dead to a Shockwave crit, so we have to be careful, but Raichu goes for Thunder Wave. On the next turn, we instantly heal out of it with our Cherry Berry and do serious damage with a Secret Power. I don't hesitate, and I don't get punished as we click on Secret Power once more, and the Shockwave doesn't crit, and we hit another Secret Power for the win. On our way through, we end up catching a lonely Doduo, who we catch and name Ray. To make room for Ray, I decide it's time for Lita to rest after carrying us through the first part of this run. And after a quick grind session, we're ready for the only favorable matchup in Gym Leader, Erica. Flying beats Grass. Easy peasy. The battle starts off and we get Stun Spore right away, but we still hit an Aerial Ace that almost takes down her Victory Bell. Erica uses a Hyper Potion, we take it right back down. The Victory Bell then sprays acid that damn near takes us out on a crit. We hang on, knock it out. Erica then sends out her Tangela, and I swap to Luray, who quad resists the Spaghetti Monster. After playing with his Spaghetti for a little bit, Luray takes out the Tangela and then takes out the Vileplume with ease, getting our 4th patch. Before kicking Giovanni out of the game corner, we end up evolving Ray into a Dodrio and picking up Eddie from the daycare as his time to achieve his dream is nigh. But first, we must kick Giovanni out of Celadon City, and we do that as Io easily handles his team. We make our way to the Pokemon Tower to stop Team Rocket there, but as we walk in, we see land, which means another battle. We lead off with Eddie, who is eager to fight, but eager is the beaver who meets the cleaver. Or in this case, almost meets the cleaver, as Pidgeotto almost takes out Eddie. I swap to Styles, and he takes out Pidgeotto and the Growlithe League. I swap to Kidman before Ray takes out Execute, Dabra, and Wartortle. After the battle, Eddie evolves into a Charmeleon. We clear out Team Rocket and save Mr. Fuji and get ourselves the Pokeflute. After checking my wallet, I had enough to buy a Brave Scyther from the Game Corner store, which I named Psychosis. And on our way to Fuchsia City, Eddie achieves his dreams and grows wings. I knew he could do it. I always believed. We also stopped in the Safari Zone to capture another dreamer, a bashful Dratini I named Ultimate. Then as we grind up for Koga, we evolve Styles one more time. Koga could have been a tricky one, with all the accuracy-related moves like Smoke Screen, Minimize, and even the Toxic. But I equipped Eddie and Io with some Pecha Berries, and I start the battle. We lead with Charizard, who hits a Flamethrower for a one-hit knockout on the Coughing, and I decide to leave him in for the Mud. That is until we miss a Flamethrower due to Minimize, but we hit 3 of them, and I decide I need Eddie for the Wheezing, so I swap to Ray, who Aerial Ace is unbothered by the minuscule Mud. We switch in on a Sludge, and we get Toxic the next turn. But we get a critical Aerial Ace in the 3 we use, and it takes out the Mud, no problem. Koga sends in another Coughing, with a Smoke Screen on a switched in Eddie, causing Eddie to miss the first Flamethrower on the Weezing. He hits 1, but his danger's levels now. So we swap into Io, hit Surf to take out the Weezing, and we get our 5th badge. So far, no deaths. Now, with the ability to surf, we head to Cinnabar Island and tell a science man to revive a fossil we got from Pewter City. We get a relaxed Aerodactyl that we named Grable. Grable joins the team, replacing Kidman, who gets the rest in the box. It's off to Saffron to stop Team Rocket once and for all, which means another battle with Land. We lead with Grable, switching to Ray, who one hits the crit Pidgeot. We swap to Grable to take out the Growlithe. Io takes out the Blastoise. We get risky. We send Grable out again for the Execute, and then finish off the Alakazam with Ray. Then it's Giovanni. We send out Grable to take out his Nidorino, and we swap to Io for the Rhydon, switch to Grable for the XP, then to Ray for the Kangaskhan. We do the same process again for Nidoking. I gathered everyone to 43 for Sabrina, and I lead with Grable, hoping to get an Omni Boost with Ancient Power, which I do after I get a one-hit KO on Kadabra. It is Sweep City from there. This is Grable's coming out party for this run, and I could not be hit. I go back to the daycare to pick up Ultimo, and I head to Cinnabar. I beat every trainer I can to grind up and help Ultimo achieve his dreams of the sky. But Blaine is pretty easy, as Io learns Rain Dance, which boosts our water-type moves, and we essentially drown Blaine and his Pokemon, one-shotting his entire team. It's rinse and repeat for Io against Giovanni. Now, the full ground team. Rain Dance and Surf takes out his entire team. We also saved a little girl on a tropical island. I feel like I should tell you that, because it was a nice thing we did, and I deserve to get, some sort of recognition. So say in the comments, I don't know, good job. Because that's what I did. I saved the little girl. We didn't save Giovanni's team because we one-shot swept all of his team. On our way to the Pokemon League, Land challenges us once more. And it goes similar to how the last couple times go. Grable takes out his Pidgeot, Io does a dance and takes out his Blastoise, as well as his Rhydon and Growlithe. Ray takes out his Execute and Alakazam after some scary Calm Mimes, which made me a little worried that we missed on a Paralyzed turn, but it was okay. For Victory Road, Ultimo evolves and grows wings, but they don't seem physically possible to fly. After our grind to 63, here's where we stand. Lorelei is going to be tough, as everybody but Io is weak to either ice or water. We're going to have to rely heavily on Dragon Dance and Strength here. For Bruno, it'll be easy. Golbat quad resist fighting, and Gyarados can take care of the Onyxes, the Onyxes? I don't know how you pluralize that. Agatha is Luray and Eddie's, as the faster and strong enough to take out them, and also Luray resists any toxic. Ultimo and Grable are the only ones that really stand a chance against Land, between Ice Beam from Ultimo and Rock Slide from Grable. Land, we've consistently beaten with little trouble. That belt's ours, so let's go get it. Starting off, Lorelei goes as well as it could. We used Dragon Dance 4 times as Dugong uses Safeguard, Hail, which negates our leftovers for a couple turns, and Ice Beams us twice. We should be strong enough to deal with Cloyster and Slowbro's defenses, so I decided to go on the offensive at this point, and turns out it's correct. We one-shot Dugong. Followed by Cloyster, Slowbro, Jinx, and Lapras. Thankfully, neither of those Ice Beams froze me, otherwise could have been in trouble. Bruno goes as expected. Io takes out the Onix with a Surf, which brings out Hitmonchan. I swap to Ultimo thinking a Thunder Punch is coming for some reason. I stay in with Ultimo, and I hit a fly that one-shots Hitmonchan. Bruno sends out his Machamp. I fly up, and Machamp bulks up. And then I hit him with Fly, and it doesn't kill. He bulks up again. A Citrus Berry gets him close to half health, and I opt to go for a Thunderbolt, hoping it does in fact kill. But it doesn't. Hit me with Rock Tomb that does half my max health. I switch to Ray, as he fully restores a 2x attack and defense Machamp. I'm hoping for a crit Drill Peck from Ray, otherwise Ray's going to die. I hit the Drill Peck, but it doesn't crit. Take Machamp down to low yellow health, and a cross chop kills Ray. First death this far into the run. I send out Eddie, and I hit it with a Flamethrower to knock out the Machamp before it gets any more ideas of killing. From there, Hitmonlee gets taken out by intimidating Io. After a couple strikes, and Io cleans up the last Onix for the victory. Rest in peace, right? Agatha is next as we lead with Luray, who misses an Air Cutter, and Gengar goes with a double team. I stay on the game plan. I go for another Air Cutter before getting hit softly with a Shadow Ball. A follow-up bite brings Gengar into red health as it confuses Luray. I swap to Eddie as Agatha fully restores for Gengar. Eddie one-shots the Gengar as well as her Golbat. Her Arbok is able to stay alive and hits a Screech before falling to another Gengar. Gengar comes out and survives a Flamethrower but puts Eddie to sleep. So I decide to swap in Grable for Eddie as Gengar hits a not that strong but still effective Sludge Bomb that poisons Grable. Grable hits a Wing Attack that knocks out the Gengar, and another Wing Attack takes out her remaining Haunter as we move on to Lance. Lance starts off with Ultimo, taking out his Gyarados with a Thunderbolt. We've maxed out Ultimo's special attacks. Dragon type moves are special in Gen 3, which helps us out. We follow up with a Dragon Claw on both of his Dragonairs, taking them out. Lance decides to send out his Dragonite, which I hit with an Ice Beam that nearly kills it as it goes for a Safeguard. We get the same roll after a full restore, so Dragonite's still up. I opt for a Dragon Claw as Lance heals his Dragonite again. I take it out with an unnecessary critical hit Ice Beam. He sends out his Aerodactyl, who hits us with an Ancient Power for good damage, while we counter with a Thunderbolt that leaves the Aerodactyl in red. We're in crit range, and we're still going to need Ultimo, so I swap to Luray to take an Ancient Power, or so I thought, except Lance uses Hyper Beam, and Luray quite literally eats it, and hits a Poison Fang that poisons Aerodactyl. Doesn't kill though. Luray eats yet another Hyper Beam, and in return bites the Ancient Bird to death, advancing us to our championship battle against Land. We started off our battle with Land with Grable, who hits a Rock Slide on his Pidgeot for a one-hit knockout. He sends in his Blastoise, and I immediately switch to Ultimo, as Blastoise dances in the ring. I use Thunderbolt, which does a little bit more than half damage to his ace, as Blastoise shoots water fast at Ultimo. Another Thunderbolt knocks out the Tank Turtle. In comes Rhydon, so we swap out Ultimo for Io, knocking down Rhydon's attack as he goes for a Rock Tomb. Even slow down a single stage, Io outspeeds Rhydon and hits a Surf for the knockout. Lance sends out Alakazam, who could be frightening. We didn't have Grable, who has already shown that she outpaces the Spoonful. Alakazam hits a strong Psychic that puts us in crit range as we risk it for the biscuit as we Wing Attack it to death, taking a future save from Alakazam. Executor comes in, and we swap to Eddie to tank a Giga Drain with ease. Eddie likes his coconuts roasted, and he hits a one-shot flamethrower on the collective egg mine. Final chance for land, and he sends out his Arcane, which draws out Io. Io takes a flamethrower and knocks out the big fire dog after 2 surfs, which extinguishes land's chances of being champion. In most runs, this would be the end, but not at Grummlocke. So we grab Styles out of the box to replace our fallen Ray, and we take making sure our Pokemon are the only legendary Pokemon in the region. Grable murders Zapdos, Eddie melts down Articuno, and Io snuffs out Moltres' flame. Next up is Mewtwo, who lives in a cave that we can't get into until we do the rest of the postgame. As we're moving through the islands, I catch a Skarmory, and I name her Shanti. I take off the Everstone from Luray, allowing her to evolve into a Crobat. Then it's Mewtwo's time. We lead with Ultimo, who almost falls to the created Pokemon, but establishes his legendary status and defeats Mewtwo. The Elite Four wants to smoke again, so we bring it. Io dances twice as Dugong double teams. We miss the strength, but we hit our second one, and it drops the Dugong to a sliver of health. I decide to dance once more, get our third boost, and we click strength until we hit the Dugong for an attack. Next out of Palestine, and for some reason I decided to go for Waterfall, which 2-shots the Woolly Pig. Lapras is a 2-shot with strength as well, and then comes out Cloyster, who eats a strength and confuses us. I see if it's enough to stop us from hitting him again for the kill. It is, and we do a chunk of damage to ourselves as does his Ice Beam. So we swap out to Eddie, who takes out the Ice Beam, burning down the Cloyster and the following Jinx. Bruno is next, and we lead Shotzi, who lays down a good amount of spikes that'll help us in the fight. After setting up the spikes, I switch in Io, who takes out the Steelix, Hitmonchan, and Hitmonlee before switching back out to Shotzi to take a Rock Slide from the Machamp. This time, no bulk up threat, so Shotzi takes down the Machamp, and Io comes back to finish off Bruno's second Steelix to beat Bruno again. Agatha is up again, and we lead with Grable, hoping to get an Ancient Power boost to easily handle her. A Lumberry helps us deal with being put to sleep to take out the first Gengar with Misty comes out and hits a strong Thunderbolt on Grable, forcing us to switch to Ultimo, who easily takes out Mischievous and Crobat before switching back to Grable, who takes out the Arbok with an Earthquake. Agatha then sends out her strongest Gengar, who avoids a Rock Slide and knocks out Grable with a Thunderbolt, which pauses me for a second, before I send out Ultimo to finish off Agatha. We lead off against Lance with Ultimo, who takes down every single one of his. I'm talking Gyarados, Dragonite, Kingdra, Dragonite again, and Aerodactyl, who does almost take us down, but doesn't, and we end up getting back into the championship. For the rematch against Land, we start off with Shotzi, who lays down 3 layers of spikes as Heracross goes for counter. I use Steel Wing to chip and not die. And then Air Cutter does in fact take down the Heracross. Land sends out a pseudo-legendary of his own, Tyranitar, my favorite Pokemon, who knocks out Shanti with a Thunderbolt. I send in Io, who takes out the T-Tar with a critical Surf. Io then follows up and takes out the Alakazam, but not before the Spoon Hoarder sets up a Reflect. Land sends out Executor, which causes me to swap to Eddie, who ends up getting hit with a Sleep Powder. Eddie sleeps long enough for Executor to put up a light screen. With the spikes and the sand going, a single flamethrower is still enough to take down the tree. Land brings in his ace, Blastoise, which forces me to swap to Luray, tanks a Hydro Pump, and hits Blastoise with a Poison Fang that badly poisons the turtle tank. He takes another pump and goes down. I swap to Dragonite as I think, even with a light screen up, a Thunderbolt, Sand, and Toxic should kill a Blastoise next turn, and it would have, but Blastoise uses Rain Dance to get rid of the sand. The screen wears off, and 2 Thunderbolts kills the restored Blastoise. Land sends in his Arcanine, who takes a couple Dragon Claws before fainting, and we retain our championship. In review, I think this run was a good run. I liked using Aerodactyl. I never really got to use Aerodactyls. I don't really use Aerodactyls. I normally opt for either Almastar or Kabutops for my fossil Pokemon during Nuzlocke runs. So it was nice to use Aerodactyl. Obviously, using a pseudo legendary like Dragonite is a quote unquote controversial, but it's my Nuzlocke, so I get to do what I want to do. I hope you enjoyed. The next one I'm going to do is a poison type run of Pokemon Emerald. That'll be out next month. I'm doing it right now. I'm excited. It looks a lot of some variety, not as much variety as this run had. This run had a lot of variety, especially the final team. Steel flying, rock flying, water flying, fire flying, normal, and as well as my water, the Gyarados. So thank you for watching, and if you haven't already, hit the like and subscribe buttons below the video. I plan on doing at least one of these a month for the time being, as I don't have the time required to do the run and edit it due to work and the like. If you like to see these live, I do plan on doing some of these runs live, as well as other streams on my Discord, Grumm.tv. That's GRUMM.TV. It's my community Discord where you can also suggest some runs, as well as here in the comments you can do that. But you can also be a part of the community over there. We do live streams and the such. All my content update gets put there. Thank you to the Llama Club Elite and the Elite of the Elite for my Patreon. As you can see here on the screen, look at them. Look at all of them fine folks. If you'd like to be like them and join the Patreon, you can do so. Check it out, support.grumm.tv. The link will be in the description. You get early access to these videos as well as other videos, and more access to my other content as well. Check that out if you'd so choose. I'd be very grateful of it. Thank you, and if no one has said it to you yet today, let me be the first to say, I love you.